I've always thought of myself as careful, the kind of careful that keeps you out of trouble. I never post my real address online. I avoid location tags. When I meet someone from a dating app, I stick to a public place, daytime, people all around. Common sense, right? That's why when I matched with a guy named Zach a few months ago, I wasn't worried. He didn't look like a movie star, but he had that clean, approachable vibe. Short brown hair, wire-frame glasses, a smile that was friendly but not overconfident. His messages were polite, a little nerdy, even self-deprecating at times. We talked for about a week. When he suggests we grab coffee downtown, I agreed. Noon on a Saturday, crowded cafe, bright sunlight outside. I could already see the other customers through the big window as I parked my car. He was already there, sitting at a corner table. We ordered our drinks. Mine, an oat milk latte. His, black coffee with too much sugar. And made small talk. He asked about my job, my hobbies, where I grew up. Harmless stuff. Then he asked, "So, where do you live?" It was casual, tossed into the flow of the conversation, but something in me went on alert. I smiled and gave him the name of a street a few neighborhoods away from mine, close enough to sound believable, far enough that if he was weird, it wouldn't matter. He nodded. No strange reaction, no probing follow-up. The rest of the date was fine. Not amazing, not awkward. We hugged goodbye, and I walked back to my car with no bad feeling in my gut. For the next 2 days we exchanged a couple of texts, and then it fizzled out. I didn't think about him again, until exactly a week later. My phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. Just 2 words. "You lied." I stared at my screen, brain trying to connect dots that didn't exist. I typed back, "Sorry, who's this?" No answer. That night at 11:47 p.m., another text came through. This time, it was a photo. It was my apartment building, taken from the sidewalk, in the dark. The photo wasn't grainy. Whoever took it had been close enough for the street lamp to catch the brick detail near my door. I felt my stomach drop, my throat go dry. My neighborhood is quiet. People don't just happen to be walking by at night. Another message followed. "Why did you lie?" I knew it was him, Zach. No one else could it be. I racked my brain. Had I posted something online that gave it away? My Instagram was private, no geotags. My last public post was months old. Maybe he'd followed me from the cafe. Maybe he recognized something in the background of a photo, a reflection in the window, a bus stop sign. I didn't reply. Instead, I turned off every light in my apartment, heart pounding in my ears. I peeked through the blinds. The street was empty, no cars idling, no figure in the shadows. But the silence felt wrong. I slept, if you could call it sleep, with a kitchen knife under my pillow. Every creak in the building made me flinch. The next morning, I blocked the number, reported it to my carrier, and temporarily deactivated all my social media, including Tinder. For a while, nothing happened. 2 weeks later, just when I'd started to breathe normally again, I got a DM on Instagram from a throwaway account. No profile picture, 0 followers, and the message was, "Don't worry, I won't tell anyone where you really live." That was it. I sat frozen in my chair, staring at those words. It wasn't a threat, it was worse. It was proof that he knew exactly where I was and that he wanted me to know he knew, and maybe that he could show up again anytime he wanted. I deleted the message, blocked the account, but blocking is like locking a flimsy door. It feels secure until you remember how easily it can be broken. Every night for the next month, I double-locked my front door, checked every window latch twice, and kept my phone by my bed with the police number queued up. I never heard from him again, but I never figured out how he found me either. And the thing that haunts me the most isn't the how, it's the why. It was one of those nights when the air feels thick, like the world is holding its breath. The kind of stillness where even the hum of the fridge in the next room sounds louder than it should. My bedroom was dim, lit only by the faint, cold blue glow of my phone screen. The curtains were drawn, sealing me into my own little cocoon. I was sprawled across the bed, laptop balanced on my knees, half watching random YouTube videos while my cat slept curled at my feet, her tail twitching every now and then. The glow of the screen painted soft shadows across the wall. Outside, somewhere far away, a car passed. At 1:03 a.m., my phone buzzed. A notification. New snap from unknown. No Bitmoji, no profile picture, just the word unknown. I frowned, my eyebrows knitting together. Probably spam. Maybe some glitch in the app. Still, curiosity has a way of ignoring reasons. Without really thinking about it, I tapped the notification. The photo appeared instantly, and it stole the air from my lungs. It was me. Not a selfie, not a saved photo from some random time in the past. No, it was me, right then. Lying in bed, laptop open, cat at my feet, hair spilling over my shoulders, exactly as it was in that very moment. I told myself it had to be some glitch, some freak accident with my phone camera. But the perspective was wrong. The photo had been taken from above, from a position where no phone of mine could have been. Someone had taken that picture from inside my room. My chest tightened. My gaze started to the corners of the room. The door was locked. The windows too. I told myself I'd hear glass breaking if someone had come in. But still, my phone buzzed again. Another snap. This time it was a video. The screen was almost entirely black. At first, I thought there was no sound at all. But then I heard it. A whisper. My name. Slow, drawn out, over and over. The sound crawled into my ears and settled in my bones. My cat's ears flicked sharply, and she sat up. She was looking into the darkened corner near my closet. She didn't blink, didn't move, just stared. I dropped my phone, scrambled off the bed, and lunged for a light switch. Harsh yellow light flooded the room, burning away the shadows. The corner was empty, but I didn't feel alone. I stood there for a long moment, listening. Nothing but my own breathing. Slowly, I crept into the kitchen, my bare feet silent against the cool floor. I grabbed the largest knife I owned, a heavy chef's knife, and gripped it so tightly my knuckles ached. Then I sat in the living room, every light on, waiting. I didn't sleep. When the sun finally rose high enough to fill the room, I picked up my phone again. The snap was gone, the account was gone, no username to report, no saved messages, no trace. I called the police. The officer on the other end was calm, patient. He took my statement and asked if anyone else had keys to my apartment. Only Mom, I told him, and she lived 3 states away. He said they'd send a patrol car past my building that night, just in case. But even as I hung up, I knew it wouldn't change the way I felt. That afternoon, I went to a store and bought a small motion camera, put it on a dresser in my bedroom. I bought a door sensor too, one that would send an alert to my phone if the door opened. For weeks, I checked both every morning. Nothing. No alerts, no strange footage, normal messages. But every night, when I lay in my bed, my gaze drifts to the same corner near the closet, the one my cat had stared at. The shadows there seem heavier now, darker than the rest of the room. I was 18, home for summer break, back in quiet Texas neighborhood where I'd grown up. The kind of place where the nights are so still you can hear a dog barking 3 streets over, and the morning smells faintly of fresh cut grass. Summer days felt lazy, predictable. I'd wake up to sunlight cutting across my bedroom floor, pull on an old hoodie, and leash up my dog for a slow walk down the same tree-lined streets I'd known since I was a kid. We'd pass the same cracked sidewalks, the same leaning mailbox posts, the same weather-faded for sale sign that had been stuck in someone's yard for months. There was a little cafe just a few blocks away, with brick walls and mismatched furniture that smelled faintly of espresso and vanilla syrup. I liked sitting by the big front window where the sunlight poured in, sipping an iced latte before heading back home. That Tuesday, I decided to post a quick boomerang on Instagram. My coffee cup catching the morning light, condensation dripping down the side. No location tag, no caption, just a simple aesthetic photo. 10 minutes later, my phone buzzed. A DM. You're really pretty. The account had no profile picture, no posts, just a username, a random jumble of numbers and letters. I stared at the message for a second, probably some bot. I didn't even bother replying, but then another message appeared. You go to Brewed Up Cafe a lot, huh? I froze, my fingers hovering over the screen. The cafe's name wasn't visible in the picture. I hadn't tagged it. I glanced up from my phone, scanning the room. Only a few people were there. A guy in a baseball cap at his laptop, a young woman scrolling through her phone, an older man reading the paper. None of them seemed to be watching me. I typed back. Do I know you? The reply came almost instantly. Not yet, but I know you like your coffee, with oat milk, no sugar. That's cute. My stomach dropped. I felt suddenly too aware of my own breathing. I stood up, tossed my coffee in the trash, and left. My dog tugging gently on the leash as I walked faster than usual. Every time a car passed, I turned my head just enough to catch a glimpse of the driver. I didn't like how my skin prinkled with the feeling of being watched. That evening, I tried to shake it off. I sat on my back porch, watching the sky shift into the shades of pink and orange. It was beautiful, safe. I snapped a photo and posted it to Instagram. No caption, no tags. Another DM appeared. That sky looks better in person. Your neighborhood's quiet tonight. My phone slipped a little in my hand. My heart thudded against my ribs. I set the phone face down on the table and just stared at the darkening yard. The next morning a new account followed me. Blank profile, random username. You look cute walking your dog today. Red hoodie suits you. I hadn't posted anything that day. He had seen me. Days started to blur together. I stopped walking my dog alone. I double-checked the locks on every window, even in the middle of the day. Whenever I stepped outside, my eyes scanned every parked car, every slow-moving vehicle. Then, one night at exactly 1:30 a.m., I woke up to a sound. A faint scraping against my bedroom window. I held my breath, listened. 3 slow knocks followed. My body went rigid, my mind screaming at me to move, to run, but I couldn't. My eyes fixed on the curtain. The dim light from the street lamp outside barely seeped through, but it was enough to see it. The faint outline of a human figure standing just beyond the glass. I screamed. The door burst open and my dad charged in, baseball bat in hand. He didn't hesitate, ran straight outside. I could hear him shout into the night. Whoever it was had vanished. We called the police. They searched the yard, the street, even tapped on a few neighbors' doors. Nothing. The officer suggested maybe it was a prank, maybe a neighbor messing around. I didn't believe that. The next morning I went to get the mail. Inside the box was a plain white envelope. No stamp, no return address. Just my name written in shaky block letters. My fingers trembled as I opened it. Inside was a single Polaroid. It was me, walking my dog, wearing the red hoodie, taken from across the street. The angle made it obvious. Whoever took it had been standing there, watching, camera in hand. Polaroid changed everything. Seeing proof that someone had been right there, close enough to touch me, was the final straw. Within days my dad was talking to realtors. My mom started boxing up the kitchen. They didn't want me to spend another night in that room, in that house, in that neighborhood. I deleted all my social media, changed my phone number, and told myself I'd never look back. But here's the thing about fear. It doesn't care where you live. Even now, in a different house, a different state, I sometimes wake up at exactly 1:30 a.m. Not because I hear something, but because I'm waiting to.